Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is the Lifestyle Mom. For those of you guys who don't know, this is me, Cheyenne. I dyed my hair. Go watch this video if you haven't, and you can see the whole process of that. But today's video, I just want to explain my freaking week to you guys, okay? I had the worst week possible. Like literally the worst week ever. So I am just gonna get into it right after this intro. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Okay, so if you guys haven't already, seriously subscribe. Just do it right now and like the video. But if you're continuously watching my videos, just subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost a thing and it's not gonna hurt you in any way. But anyway, we're gonna get into the worst week of probably the year that I've had. So we're just gonna start with last week, I guess, okay? And I'm just gonna get right into it because it's probably gonna be a long freaking video. And if you guys haven't seen already, this is my makeup look today, but I took my lashes off. There was lashes on. Anyway, so it all starts with last Thursday night, I believe, yes. So last Thursday night, I was putting the kids to bed like normal, and the kids aren't actually here right now, but I was putting the kids to bed like normal. And the week before that, we had just went to the town fair that we have every year. So we were there all week, and I noticed that Carter was wheezing. And if you guys don't know, he is on breathing treatments. We've been in and out of the hospital with him. So he was like kind of wheezing a little bit, so I gave him a breathing treatment, and then I just put him to bed, you know, thinking that would have worked or whatnot. Well, I was wrong. We woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and he was wheezing really bad. So I might even have a video like of him wheezing, but I ended up waking up and giving him like back-to-back treatments, like steroids and albuterol, because he's on steroids and then he's on albuterol, which is like the normal breathing treatment. So I was giving him back-to-back treatments, and like they just weren't working. Like you could tell they just were not working at all. And so I was getting worried because his stomach was like protruding, like it was coming out really bad, like really big, and then he's like and like his stomach would just, it was really weird how it would come out really bad and then it would just automatically just go back in really fast. Just not normal, okay? And so I called this doctor and I got him in there. They checked him out. They said his lungs seemed healthy and everything, but they wanted to check his oxygen levels, so they wanted me to take him into the hospital. So, knowing the past, we are always admitted into the hospital every time I bring Carter in there. So I went back to the house. I got a bag full of like 3 days worth of stuff, and I took off to the hospital. We went to St. Joe's. That's where we went to. I'm just gonna say it. We went there, and I went there about 11 o'clock, and we got in there and they got him in. They put him on 14 liters of oxygen, and when they first checked his oxygen levels, it was at 88, and like you're supposed to be like at 100, okay? So it was at 88, and so they put him on 14 liters of oxygen. And I don't know if that's like normal for like a 2-year-old, but they put him on that, and he was at a 92, and he like stayed between like a 92 and a 95 for 12 hours. So we were in the emergency room waiting for a room there, but they ended up not having one. So they needed to get us transferred to Mott's hospital where they had beds ready and stuff. Yeah. So we ended up waiting 12 hours, and the doctors kept telling me that he was in critical condition because I kept asking, like, where's the ambulance? Like, why can't I just take him there myself? Like, it'll be just quicker. And they kept telling me that he needed to stay on the oxygen and that he can't be taken off of the oxygen at all because he was in critical condition, okay? So you got my 2-year-old on oxygen in critical condition, waiting 12 hours for an ambulance to get to a Mott's hospital where he can get properly taken care of. Finally, it's like almost midnight, okay? And at this point, I'm getting frustrated. The person out, there's people waiting out in the hallway, and they were waiting the same amount of time that I was in there. So finally, you know, I'm like literally getting irritated at the point. Carter's getting irritated at this point, trying to rip off all the monitors off of him, all the wires, you know. And I seen his nurse leave like an hour ago, and I have not seen anybody come in since, and it's like midnight at this point, almost 12:30. So I'm like looking out, like wondering, you know, he's still at 92. He's still on his oxygen tubes and everything, still on monitors, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just take him to Mott's myself. It's gonna take me 5 minutes to get there. Literally 5 minutes. We're waiting on an ambulance. They're still not even coming. I've been told for the last 6 hours that there was gonna be an ambulance coming. Every time I go outside, there's an ambulance there, but nobody can take my child to Mott's. It was just ridiculous. So I made the decision and took Carter off of all of his wires, put him in his little stroller, strolled him out to the car, strapped him up, and drove him to Mott's as fast as I could. And I got in there, I explained my story. They were like, oh yeah, like we've been expecting you. And I was like, well, no freaking shit. Like, of course you've been expecting me. I've been expecting you for 12 hours to come get me. They were like, okay, like, you know, he shouldn't be off his oxygen, yada, yada, yada. So they took me back immediately. They got him on his oxygen. They put him on 2 liters of oxygen. Okay, so at St. Joe's, he was on 14 liters. He was at 92. And that's what his oxygen level was, 92, right? 2 liters of oxygen they put him on. His oxygen level was at 99. Are you kidding me? So at the other hospital, they were overloading my child with oxygen, which is honestly very dangerous. And just nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knew what they were doing there. And, you know, I can't blame them because it's just a hospital. They're not, like, specialized in, like, they're not pediatricians. They're not specialized in babies. So, whatever. I get it, okay? But still, like, send my kid somewhere where they're going to be properly taken care of. Because that could have done serious damage. He was on oxygen for 12 hours at 14 liters at 92. And when I told them that, they were like, oh, whoa, like, that's a lot. Like, he should have never even been on that. Anyway, after, like, a few hours of being into, like, the emergency, like, we were admitted, but we had to wait for a room upstairs, you know? So, finally, we got a room up there. We went up there. We spent 3 days there. So, we were, like, altogether, we were there for, like, 4 days. We ended up leaving on Sunday. They ended up changing all of his medications around and stuff, so everything ended up being okay. They changed his medicine. We went home on Sunday. Monday, he goes to daycare. I go to work. Everything's fine, right? So Tuesday, I go to work and, like, you know, I'm, like, stuffy or whatever, so I'm like, you know what? I have to take a COVID test twice a week because I'm not vaccinated. So part of my work, if you're not vaccinated, you have to test twice a week and have it recorded. So I'm like, you know what, might as well, like, I'm kind of, like, I have a sore throat, so I'm just gonna, for shits and giggles, I'm just gonna take a COVID test. So I took a COVID test, and I'm sitting there waiting, and I see a faint line And then I'm like shitting myself at this point because the partner I work with, right, she just got back from having COVID, okay? Just got back from having COVID. I work in a nursing home, so it spreads around our work pretty, like, all the time. Can't get rid of it, okay? So I get there and I'm testing. My boss is across the hall and I'm like, hey, come here. She's like, no. I'm like, yeah, come here. She comes and looks at it. She's like, dude. I'm like, I don't believe it because I didn't feel that bad, you know. I didn't feel like crap or anything. I just had a sore throat and a runny nose, and I was sneezing all day. That's why I like took it too, because I was sneezing like 7 times in a row, like every half hour I would. So finally, I was like, you know what? I don't believe it. Go get me another one, please. So she went and got me another one. It was like a different one, a different style. And I did it, and that one came back positive too. So I was like, you know what? This is crazy. The first time I thought I know I had COVID, I lost my smell for a whole year, my taste for a few months, but my smell for a year. And I tested negative when I tested. So I don't know what's wrong with that. Now I'm testing positive, but I have my smell back. Like, my smell, like, I feel like it was enhanced. I don't know. It was super weird. My kids are at the daycare, so I have to call them and tell them that I had just tested positive for COVID. So they had to give me the kids. So now they're telling me I had to quarantine the kids. I have to quarantine Cash for like an extra like 5 days or something after me. And then I had to quarantine Carter an extra 10 days after I got out of quarantine. So after my 5 days, then he quarantines for 10. So he was quarantined for 16 days, okay? You know, I don't know. That's crazy. So I have to take a whole week off of work unpaid because he can't go back to daycare. It's, you know, yeah. So I'm not getting paid right now because I'm not working. I don't have no compassion pay, nothing, because I'm out of quarantine already and I've already passed my 10 days and I should be already back at work. But my kid can't go back to daycare because he can't wear a freaking mask. So Tuesday comes around, previous Tuesday comes around, and I'm like out of quarantine. I'm like finally like want to get up and get doing stuff. It's a weekday, get my shit together, you know. I go do my thing, you know, go shopping, go do whatever I had to do. And I take my car to go get washed. And then I took it to the vacuum, like the self-serve. And I went and vacuumed out my car and like washed my floor mats, got the inside looking and smelling real freaking good, right? And then I went back to the car wash, like the self-serve car wash. And then I got under my car because I wanted to make sure, because you know, when you go to like a car wash that's automatic and they spray your car, they don't really get good under your car. And I have a Jeep and I don't wash it a lot, which I need to. But I just wanted to like get all the dirt and stuff so it doesn't rust. I'm under my car, I'm like with a power washer, right? And I'm like looking and I'm getting under there. And my car's really squeaky when it drives, right? In the front. But like lately I've been noticing this big bang, like toot, every time I hit a bump. And I thought it was because I pulled my bottom seat out and I thought it just never clicked down. So I thought it was just that the whole freaking time. Well, apparently, I look under my car in between my tire, you know, and my control arm, I'll put a picture up. Look at this. My control arm is freaking broken in half, and I have no idea how long it was like that. I'm just sitting here driving normally. It didn't sound right, but it drove just fine. So yeah, that's what it looked like. Okay. Literally snapped right. I mean, that looks like it rusted out. It took a long time for that to rust out. Definitely. And like at this point, I'm like, okay, what the heck? Like, am I gonna do now? Because like I do not have money for a tow truck. Everybody knows that shit is expensive as heck to get that done, right? So I didn't have money for a tow truck, but I happened to, when I noticed the car, I was at the car wash. So I drove it to the laundromat because I had my clothes at the laundromat. And I was like, well, if I'm already driving it now and it hadn't broke yet, I'm just going to drive it to the laundromat and we'll figure it out from there. So I'm sitting there and I'm like looking around, like just like, what am I going to do type crap. And I look over and I forget that I'm literally parked next to a State Farm and that's my insurance company. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? My sister, as soon as I realized, like, put the two and two together that, oh my God, I'm next to State Farm, my sister texted me and was like, you have full coverage. I'm pretty sure you got towing on there. And I'm like, dude, I'm next to State Farm. Like, this is perfect, right? So I go over to State Farm, and they're not my service. Like, I have State Farm through Lansing, and I was in my town that I was living in, which is a different town than Lansing. So they were like, we don't serve you, but we can give you the assistance, the roadside assistance for like your branch or whatever. I said, please. So they did that. I ended up calling them. They came and towed my car within the hour. Literally, it was just it all worked out like perfectly. Oh my God. Okay. It gets even better, right? I call my sister and I tell her, like, listen, the tow truck's gonna go. Can you come get me? She goes, actually, I'm like, in town and I'm like 2 roads from you. I'm about to pull into the driveway, like into the thing in the parking lot. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't have called you at a better time. Like, she was on her way home from work and she was just about to pass me when I called her. So I'm like, dude, like telling her, like, I literally like looked over at State Farm when you texted me and told me that like I get covered for towing, all that stuff. So I'm really hoping that this music doesn't get copyrighted. But anyway, it says no copyright on it. So, yeah. Everything, it was going smooth, right? So now I'm at a shelter. I have a curfew. A lot of you probably already know that if this is not your first time watching me or this video. So I call my shelter. I'm like, listen, like, this is the circumstances, and I know that they help, like, they get a grant to, like, help people with their vehicles, and, like, my car broke down, and I know exactly what it is. Like, I knew it was the control arm, because I'm not that dumb, but I'm smart when it comes to Google, and so I looked it up, and I, like, knew that it was the control arm. I looked up the little diagnostic of a Jeep, and I looked up that exact part where it was and everything, and it said control arm right there, and I was right. I was legit right, too. So I called them, and they were like, okay, like, take your car here, and you'll have to get, like, you'll have to get a diagnostic on it. You have to figure out what's wrong, and then we need to get a receipt. You'll have to send me a receipt, and then we'll approve it, and then we'll fix it if we approve it. So I was like, okay. I was like, I know that it's not going to be, expensive. I'm thinking it was only going to be like a few $100 fix. So I was like, okay. So I got it towed to that place. I was able to get it towed there. Called them, said, hey, I'm dropping my car off here. I'm from this place. And, they already know. They, like, they already know because they work with people. They work with us. And the next day, my car got looked at. And they called where I'm at, and they said, okay, hey, we're going to fix it. It's $600. Is that all right? They approved it. So I got approved to get my car fixed. They fixed it, and I got my car back the very next day after that. So my car was gone for 2 days, like, altogether. A half a day, a full day, the next day, and then another half a day. And I went and picked it up. Like, can I just express, like, how blessed I am, like, that happened? First of all, I could have not noticed that my control arm was broken, and much worse things could have happened. I could have not been next to State Farm. I could have not had full coverage and not got my thing towed, and I could have paid a fortune to have it towed, and I was lucky enough to have my whole car fixed for not even $1 out of my pocket. And so, honestly, like, I could not be blessed for the situations that I'm in right now. yeah, it's kind of crappy that I'm here, but it is a blessing that I'm here because I'm getting the help that I need and the support that I need in order to be out on my own and not ever have to come back here again. Seriously. I'm sorry if this is shaky. I'm like trying to hold it up and my arm's tired. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. My car gets put in the shop. The next day, I got a ride, you know, I was able to stay, or I was able to get a ride. My sister dropped me off at the hotel, and I like woke up the next morning and I got a phone call from front desk, and they were like, you know, hey, like it's your checkout day, and yeah, and I was like, wait, like I don't have a checkout day because I'm from here, like yada yada, and like I don't know when I'm supposed to leave, but like I know that I should be getting an apartment in 30 days because like I already applied for it and all that stuff. Like obviously, okay, now you guys know, a little secret. And so yeah, I was like, but I'm here, like I'm already here, so why don't I go talk to you up at the front desk? Okay. So I go up to the front desk and I explained to the girl like what's going on, and I explained to her like how much more time I'm probably gonna need, so she is gonna extend my stay. And I was like, okay. Like she's like, we have like a 7-day, 14, 28, like all that, like, and I was like, okay, why don't we do, I was like, I'll probably be here for 28, but let's do a 14. Just, you know, after 14 we'll reconcile and like figure out what we're gonna do. And she's like, okay. This whole time, you know, I have just a microwave in there. I don't have like a kitchenette or anything. It's just like a room with 2 beds. And I've been there for already a month. And I went up there and I was like, I have like a question. I was like, can I have somebody, can I have an upgrade? You know, can I have an upgrade in my room? Can I have something with a kitchen in it? So they're like, yeah, like, or the front desk girl, she's like, yeah, we can do that, you know, yada yada. And then I hear a man in the background saying like, no, like whoever her name is, like, come here, like I gotta talk to you, yada yada. So she goes back there in the back, and I can hear the man like yelling at her, pardon me. I can yelling at her, and I can make out she needs to check out, cost money, and check out now. She needs to leave. That's what I kept hearing, like the gist of it. So he was yelling at her, so she comes out and she's like, you know, sad, like looking at me. She's like, I'm really sorry, but I was told like you have to check out, you know. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, you know, I'm from, you know, yada yada. I didn't check myself in. Like they checked me and they paid for everything. They gave me a date and everything. Like I don't have anywhere to go, and my car broke down yesterday. I don't even have a vehicle right now. And I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. You're gonna have to call. And as soon as I said that, the man came out, supposedly the manager. He came out and he started yelling, you need to get out of here right now. You need to get your stuff and check out. And I was like, listen, I was like this the whole time. I was like, first of all, what did I do? And he was like, you caused $500 in damage in your hotel, and you need to check out. And I was like, okay. I was like, there hasn't even been anybody in my freaking room. Like nobody has even cleaned my room. I've been asking you guys for 3 days to come clean. I was like, and second of all, I'm a domestic violence victim. I said, you don't need to be yelling at me like that. He's like, I could give less, like what you are, who a victim you are. I don't care about domestic violence victims. You need to get out of here. You need to check out. And I was like, I have no car. Like my car's in the shop right now, and I have no place to go. So where do you want me to go? And he was like, you need to get out of here. You need to get off my property and all this stuff. I was like, okay, I'm going to call yada yada, and I'm going to have them come up here and handle it. I said, but I'm not going anywhere right now. Like I don't have a ride, and I have all my stuff, and I have 2 kids. So I'm hysterical at this point, you know. This man literally got in my face and was screaming at me to leave and that I caused all of this damage. I said, you must be mistaken. Like, I was like, sir, you must have me mistaken for the wrong person. Like, I promise I didn't damage the hotel. I promise I didn't do nothing. And I might even have a picture of the hotel just to, like, show you guys. So I called, you know, my advocate, and I was, like, hysterical. And I was like, I like, she knew. Like, I was in a panic attack. I was hyperventilating. And I was like, you need to come help me, please. I was like, come get me. I was like, they kicked me out of the hotel. He said that I caused, like, damage. And I was like, I swear there's no damage. I didn't do anything. Like, they haven't even come and cleaned my room at all. Like, they did one time yesterday, and that was it. Like, and I was like, I don't know if they had me mistaken for somebody else. Like, and she was like, okay. She's like, I'm on my way. And, like, she came up there with the big dog of like this place, right? And somebody you don't want to mess with, right? And I'm like, first, like, do you guys want to come in my room just to check? Like, I want you guys to come in here and just to see for yourselves, to see if you guys can see $500 worth of damage, you know? So I had to keep my kids in the room because they locked me out of the room. My keys didn't work anymore. So I was knocking on the door, Cash opened the door, and I had them inspect everything. I was like, look at, you know, and she's like, it looks lived in, but there is no damage, especially not $500 worth of damage. There's absolutely no damage in here. And I'm like, exactly, like, I don't even know what I did. Like, I was like, $500 in damage. I thought, like, you know, I'm smashing walls. There's a hole in the wall. TVs are broken. Like, bed frames are smashed. You know, like, real damage. So there was nothing. So they're like, all right, well, we're gonna go up there and talk to him. They go up there and talk to the guy. The guy starts screaming at them, like, loud. They were gone for a minute, but the guy was screaming at them, like, so bad to the point where when they came back, they both had tears in their eyes. It was sad. It was so freaking sad. Like, the manager of the hotel was yelling at all of them, you know. And this place, like, they have places like this, like shelters, like homeless shelters, like halfway houses probably, like, I'm not really too certain about that, but they have contracts through certain places, like that's what they're for, like that's so, you know, we had every right to be there, every single right, you know. And he was like, I'm running a business, like, not a daycare, yada yada yada, like, all this crap. And, you know, like, obviously, like, he was not, like, he's like, I don't give a crap about domestic violence, da 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 da. So clearly he must, like, abuse his wife or something. He clearly must beat his kids, abuse his wife. I mean, he clearly doesn't give a fuck about domestic violence. So, and he was getting in my face, screaming, pointing his finger in my face, so clearly he does not care about nobody. And yeah, so when I got picked up, they took all my stuff. We had 2 cars packed full of my crap. And we get back here, they have, like, a meeting for, like, a freaking hour, and they're on the phone. They're still handling business over there. First of all, that hotel lost their contract, and that's a lot of freaking, okay, so they screwed up big time. That also was the manager, and the owner of the building is, like, the complete opposite, like, attitude wise, than the guy that was yelling at me. Supposedly he's very genuine, very down to earth, like, all this stuff, you know. So I'm sure when he reviews the cameras, because where I'm at, they have not let it down. They have called everybody to make sure that this man gets in trouble for what he does. And he did. He is getting in trouble for what he's doing. Crazy, but I hope when they review the cameras, they will see his body language. They will see how close he is to me, how in my face he was, and they will see. And if they have audio, they'll hear everything that he has to say. They'll see me backing up with my arms like this and everything, like. and telling him like where I'm from, and like he can't do that to me, like he can't yell at me like that, like trauma type crap. And he's like, I don't give up, like I don't care about none of that. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, you don't? Okay. So yeah, some good that's my whole week, right? That's the end of the week. That's like all of it at that point. So now we are back here, but we did get some good news. I did apply for a program that is going to help me get into a place. So that was a while ago. I just like turned in all of the documentations that they need for verification of everything. Once that's approved, I'll have my own place. I just don't know when. So I'm thinking like 30 to 45 days, maybe 60 days, within this range. But I just am so excited, you guys. It's been way too long. It's been since April 1st. Like seriously, April 1st. And you know, actually it's been since like February since I've like had like my own living area. Yeah. So it's been a long time. But it's been April 1st since I've been here, which is still a long time. But I have done so much with my life, and I just couldn't be more grateful for this opportunity, honestly. Yeah. But anyway, that is my worst week in my entire year, this year, of my entire year. Probably this week. Next week is Carter's birthday, not Cash's. It's Carter's birthday. He'll be 2 on the 25th of August. Yep, so I'm excited. I want to plan his birthday party. I want to do like a Sesame Street theme, so we'll see if I get to it. It's coming up really soon, but anyway, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. If you guys liked this video, my story time, the worst week of my life, and if you guys laughed at all, like, if you guys laughed once at my freaking craziness, then give it a thumbs up just so I know how many people laughed at this. And then comment to let me know what you guys want to see next. I don't know. Also, I am going to be starting a business, and I will be recording all the process of that. And it's going to be like sugar scrubs, body lotions, body butters, all that kind of stuff. I have done so much freaking research. I have a whole cart full of stuff ready to freaking be ordered. I'm just like, you know, have to do like a ton more research, even though I already did it. I don't know. You know, you gotta just reassure yourself a billion times before you like actually do it. But I am doing it, and I'm in the process of getting everything I need. I just want to make sure all the ingredients are like completely natural, organic, and just the right ingredient, you know. So like, share, subscribe, and look at this. Let me know color combos, what you guys want to see next, like with my makeup, with my eyes, because please, like, I need more ideas. And I know I need to fix my wings. My sister's like, I don't like your wings. I'm like, yeah, honestly, like, I need to raise them up a little bit and like do them more flat. Oh, and I gotta tell you guys, my face, well, I mean, it's like been hours now, but my face is TikTok contoured and blushed. So I used like the contour filter that TikTok uses, so I did the oval shape contour, and I think it honestly turned out really good. I probably have a picture from earlier I might post right here. I might not, I don't know. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll guys see you like 2 days next week. I don't freaking know, sometime. Bye.